Welcome to the Book Drop. I'm Matthew Kuchenda. I work at the Marlborough Public Library over on 35 West Main Street, open from 9 to 8 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5 Friday through Saturday, and 1 to 5 on Sundays. We will also be closed Monday the 16th for President's Day. Donation days. The Friends of the Library will be accepting donations on Wednesday the 4th and Saturday the 21st. Programs. On Monday the 9th at 7, we have our virtual cooking demo with Heidi Mkandu, where you can learn to cook mini cheesecakes with raspberry sauce. Heidi is a spokesperson, author, and a registered dietitian with 25 years of experience, so don't miss out. Are you a person who leaves everything the last minute? Do you have a haunted heirloom that would be perfect for your significant other, but you don't know if it's worth anything? On Saturday the 14th, Valentine's Day, at 9:15, we have Collectibles Appraisal with perfect Pastime, 6:17. Pokémon cards, sports cards memorabilia, coins, watches, video games/consoles, comics, fine and broken jewelry are all acceptable. No weapons of any kind are permitted. And please, keep in mind that you will need to schedule a time to meet with Rick. You could do that on the event calendar on MPL website. The MPL website is what I meant. Cool. As someone who likes to read by candlelight, I find that my paper bookmarks always catch fire. On Saturday the 21st at 12:30, we have Metal Smithing Bookmarks, a tween/teen program run by Heather Beck, where you can learn to hammer and hand-make your very own metal bookmark. D&D is a game where you summon Satan and learn how to be gay. And on Saturday the 28th at 9:30, we are hosting Adult D&D. If you're an adult who's always wanted to play, come on down. Getting a D&D group together is the hardest part of the game. Take advantage of it while you can. Adult Book Clubs. On Monday the 2nd at 6, the Meet Cute, our romance book club, will be discussing A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams, a story of glamour, unexpected love, ambition, and self-discovery. On Wednesday the 4th at 6:30, the Sci-Fi Fantasy Club, Undiscovered Realms, will meet to discuss Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor, a blend of African futurism, a term penned by Okorafor, and folklore, where a girl touched by death must learn to wield her new power. The Pride Book Club will be discussing Sky Falling by Mia Mackenzie Monday the 9th at 6. This story, set in Philadelphia, involves stuff everyone in their 20s has faced: queer desire, self-destruction, being 37, and addiction. The Great Reads Club is discussing The Frozen River by Ariel Lahan on Tuesday the 10th at 6 and Thursday the 12th at 11. This historical fiction centers on a colonial-era midwife in the harsh winter of Maine who is investigating the murder of a powerful man in the community. On Wednesday the 25th at 6:30, the Horror Book Club High Strangeness will be discussing Strange Pictures by Uketsu, where an amateur investigator finds a blog full of disturbing pictures and begins to unravel a web of interconnected crimes. Children's book clubs. Wednesday the 11th at 4 and Saturday the 14th at 3, the Book Bunch will be discussing Yasmin the Builder, written by Sadia Faruqi and illustrated by Hatem Ali. On Thursday the 26th at 6, the Dewey Decimators will be discussing Ticket to Ride, An Unexpected Journey by Adrian Kress and David Miles. Friday the 27th at 4, the Once Upon a Time Book Club will be discussing Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. Teen book clubs. On Tuesday the 10th at 4, Manga Mania will be discussing The Way of the House Husband by Kusuke Uno. On Wednesday the 11th at 5, the Tween Tales Club will be discussing Duel by Jessica and Aaron Bagley. For their first of 2 sessions, Read, Connect, Create will meet on Wednesday the 19th at 4 to discuss Plain Jane and the Mermaid by Vera Brosgall.
Canopy Corner.
I want to introduce a new segment called Canopy Corner. My co-writer Matt and I used Canopy to watch a movie, and I want to talk a little about it here. in hopes that you watchers at home are also inspired to check out Canopy, whether that's to join us in watching the same film or any others in their wide selection. First, let's talk about what Canopy is, because I'd wager it's one of the most underrated and underutilized free services offered by the Marlborough Public Library. Canopy is a free streaming service that is available to all those with a library card in Marlborough. It has a fairly wide selection of movies and genres, from popular classics to niche horror movies to beloved foreign films. Each film or TV series costs a certain amount of tickets. These costs can vary based on the popularity of what you're trying to watch. I've seen things range from 3 to 1 tickets typically. Each month, you are allotted 30 tickets to spend as you choose. You spend the tickets to rent the media you're trying to view, and typically, you will have access to that material for a full 3 days. What separates it from a service like Libby is that there are no wait times for a piece of media. If you want to get it, you get it right away. I try to use Canopy as much as possible, as it's just a free, albeit with less blockbusters, version of Netflix. This month, we watched Interstellar, which cost 4 tickets. Interstellar is a 2014 sci-fi film directed by Christopher Nolan. We follow Matthew McConaughey as Cooper, a farmer and former astronaut, as he is tasked with going on a risky mission to save the world. Some might say it's a modern sci-fi classic. The core story, even though it is a sci-fi, is really about family bonds and love. Theoretical physicist Kip Thorne was actually the scientific consultant for the film to make sure everything was physically possible. The only thing that really isn't physically possible are the clouds made of ice. Its soundtrack/score has proved to be just as enduring, and maybe even more so, with its main theme being instantly recognizable to any TikTok users amongst us. It's also really cool to see Timothée Chalamet at such an early point in his career. So the other Matt's rating for this movie is 4 stars. He says that it still holds up 12 years later, and Anne Hathaway is his queen. I also give it 4 stars. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, we watched Interstellar right before the new year, and it seems the licensing on the film has run out with Canopy, as it is no longer hosted on the site. But this is a good reminder that if you see something you want to watch, it is better to check it out sooner rather than later. If you end up watching what we watched and would like to chat about it with us, we would love to hear from you at the Circ Desk, as long as it's not busy, of course. Staff selections. For this month's staff selections, we asked our librarians to highlight some of their favorite nonfiction books, and boy did they have some recommendations. It's a bit of a list, so strap in. Our first book is Book Nooks, Inspired Ideas for Cozy Reading Corners and Stylish Book Displays by Vanessa Dina. Who doesn't love looking at pictures of fun ways to organize your reading space? Congratulations, the Best is Over, essays by R. Eric Thomas, a collection of funny and heartfelt essays about home and the search for community. Sure, I'll join your cult. A memoir of mental illness and the quest to belong anywhere by Maria Bamford. From a hilarious stand-up comedian, this book is funny and sincere and even features recipes you can really make at home. We Refuse, A Forceful History of Black Resistance by Kelly C. Jackson. Our librarian loved it for its framing on Black resistance. Fearless and Free, a memoir by Josephine Baker. A fun and lighthearted memoir of Josephine Baker, the 1920s performer, spy, civil rights activist, and so much more. We Will Be Jaguars, a memoir of my people, by Namante and Quimo. Namante was born in the Warani tribe. This is the story of her and her people's clash with the capitalistic West and their struggle to save their homes in the Amazon. A Well-Trained Wife, My Escape from Christian Patriarchy by Tia Levings, a sometimes chilling biography of a woman raised in the fundamentalist Quiverful movement and her journey of falling into and then breaking away from the abusive and controlling Christian patriarchy of her husband. An Immense World, How Animal Senses Reveal the Hidden Realms Around Us by Ed Yong. This fascinating book describes how animals, including humans, perceive different aspects of the world around them depending on the types of sensory powers they're equipped with. You come away with an understanding of the vastness of reality and how we're only perceiving a fraction of it from within our own sensory bubble. After reading this book, you will definitely have greater respect for your dog's need to stop and sniff everything in their path when you're out for a walk. The Boys in the Boat, 9 Americans and Their Epic Quest for Gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics by Daniel James Brown. our librarian Charlie said, "The title sums up the plot. The book tells the story of an unlikely group of men who rowed together for the University of Washington and how they beat the German national team at the 1936 Olympics. It's a really emotional and inspirational story. Highly recommended." The Forever Witness, How DNA and Genealogy Solved a Cold Case Double Murder by Edward Humes is a well-written tale of how public DNA databases and family trees aided in solving a 31-year-old double murder cold case of Tana Van Culenborg and Jay Cook. The Light Eaters, How the Unseen World of Plant Intelligence Offers a New Understanding of Life on Earth by Zoe Schlanger, is a fascinating survey on how plants are active participants in shaping their environments. This librarian's favorite tidbit is how plants with purple flowers and plants with yellow flowers will grow near each other because the contrast of those colors is highly appealing and attractive to pollinators. Sociopath, a memoir by Patrick Gagne. Our author is a diagnosed sociopath, a diagnosis that is often considered synonymous with monsters, but this isn't true. Gagne gives us incredible insight into what life might be like as a sociopath in this page-turner. Short Nights of the Shadowcatcher, The Epic Life and Immortal Photographs of Edward Curtis by Timothy Egan, a biography of a photographer who photographed and filmed Indigenous Americans before traditions were lost. The Feather Thief, Beauty, Obsession, and the Natural History Heist of the Century by Kirk Johnson, a fascinating true crime novel of a museum heist for something as simple as a feather. This book delves into the underbelly of the exotic feather trade and the hobby of Victorian fly tying. Howl on Trial, The Battle for Free Expression, edited by Bill Morgan and Nancy J. Peters. This book is an extraordinary dive into the cultural and political climates that both formed and were subsequently reshaped by Allen Ginsberg's poem, Howl, as well as the legal battle against censorship that ensued. The Bride Was a Boy by Cheat is a story about a trans woman who transitions medically and marries her boyfriend. It's autobiographical and based on the author's life. It's a cute little story, and the author is luckily blessed with supportive friends and family, especially her husband. Our Work is Everywhere, an illustrated oral history of queer and trans resistance by Cyan Rose, a graphic novel. In their own words, queer and trans organizers, artists, healers, comrades, and leaders speak honestly and authentically about their own experiences with power, love, pain, and magic to create a textured and nuanced portrait of queer and trans realities in America. There Will Be Fire by Rory Carroll, a book about the plot to kill Margaret Thatcher. This librarian says it's intense, extremely well written, and illuminates a remarkable bit of history I knew nothing about. The Forbidden Garden, The Botanist of a Besieged Leningrad and Their Impossible Choice by Simon Parkin. From our librarian, Natasha. This is one of the most tragic and at the same time one of the most heroic pages in the history of my hometown. It is the story of geneticists who, in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, besieged by the Nazis and under a brutal blockade imposed by German troops, chose to die of starvation rather than allow the destruction of a unique collection of seeds. The world's largest collection of seeds, gathered over 2 decades from around the world by the world-renowned explorer, geneticist, and academic Nikolai Vavilov, had the goal of ending hunger on Earth. These extraordinary people could not betray their beloved teacher and his life's work. And in inhumane conditions, suffering and dying from hunger and cold, they saved a priceless collection that in the future could save all of humanity. Some might say it's madness to have the opportunity to save yourself by eating the collection and not do it. But I think that science rests on people like this. This feat is akin to the exploits of scientists who tested vaccines and conducted experiments on themselves in order to ultimately, sometimes at the cost of their own lives, help all of humanity. I am very glad that, thanks to the work of the English writer Simon Parkin, this riveting and dramatic story is now known not only in my country, but also beyond its borders. Woo! That was a lot, and I'm so happy to be able to say that, especially because I really have to up my nonfiction game. If you found any of these topics interesting and want to read these books, they will be on the staff selection shelf, which is near the welcome desk. And thank you to all the librarians who submitted this. Advice column.
If the world is an ocean, I'm a sinking diamond dropped from the hands of some far-off princess. Every waking day, things get darker and deeper. I hope to God the bottom comes soon. My son wrote that, but I find it apt for my own situation as well. I've traversed the corners of the globe, chasing bootleggers, ne'er-do-wells, and punks. I almost died 53 times, and that was just in Penn Station alone. Just kidding. New York City crime statistics are greatly exaggerated. Along the way, I tracked my travels in a notebook. My notebook. The notebook. And along the way, I lost it. It was like looking for cig smoke in a forest fire. I was lost. And when I'm lost, it's the local library that finds me. Every time.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm looking for The Notebook.
Ooh, that's a good book.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we can place it on hold for you because our copy is checked out right now.
What's a hold?
Well, it means it comes from another library in our network. We don't have a copy of it right now.
Network? Is that some fancy new slang? What even is that?
Well, we're a part of a library network in Massachusetts, and it's called CWMARS. And what we do is we send books to each other when patrons request them, and they're not in the current library.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Great. So I should place that hold for you then.
Yes.
Fantastic.
This is urgent.
Great. Well, you're all set.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So, this is not the correct notebook. As far as Nicholas Sparks goes, I'm more of a Dear John fan.
Okay, so what are you looking for? Can you be more specific?
Well, I guess it's a book, and
Okay.
it's full of facts and musings.
So it's probably a nonfiction title then.
Yeah, you could say, yeah.
Okay. So it's called The Notebook. Let's see. I don't see anything in CW Mars. I think I had explained to you that that's our lending system. So let's check Comcat, which is another lending system that we have in Massachusetts, and that will search other library networks.
Oh, wonderful.
So
okay.
let's see. And you're sure it's called The Notebook?
I'm sure.
Okay. This is kind of hard for me because I don't have an author. Do you know who the author is by any chance?
Well, it's me.
It's you?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty obvious.
Okay, no, it wasn't obvious. What's your name?
Tomes. Sherlock Tomes.
Okay, Mr. Tomes. It's not in Comcat. I don't see it.
All right.
And frankly, it sounds like this book wouldn't be in any system at all, any library system at least. Have you checked the big chest of drawers you have at home?
Yes. It's all full of spiders.
I'm not surprised to hear that, Mr. Tomes. However, I can't help you here. I don't know where else I could search.
Is there anywhere in the larger world you could check?
All right, well, this is a special occasion. I will check WorldCat.
Okay, now we're talking.
So let's see. Well, would you look at that? There's one copy, and it's in the barren wilderness of Alaska.
Oh, yeah, I left my keys there. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll grab it. Thank you.
All right, well, best of luck.
Well, I guess since I'm here, I might as well just check this out.
Okay, sure. So let's check your card. Do you have it with you?
No.
You don't. Okay. What was your name again?
Tomes. Sherlock Tomes?
Can you spell the last name, please?
Thomes.
Okay, Sherlock. Okay. Well, it looks like you have 50 DVDs that are late. Would you like to settle the fines right now?
I mean, there's like 4,000 items here. 50 is not that many.
Oh, well, do you want to know how much it cost?
Lay it on.
It's about $1,000. Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
yeah, and that's quite an accent.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So cash or check will be fine with me today.
I'm in a bit of gambling debt, so I can't exactly cough up the change.
Yeah, well, 50 DVDs is quite a bit. I have a suggestion for you. If you want to take that out, you could go home, take another look, find the 50 DVDs that can't be hiding someplace because we're talking 50 DVDs. Bring them back, and then I can check that out for you. Along with your card, too.
Sounds good, I guess.
I think it's a good idea for you.
Well, that was a loss. At least I can smoke inside.
You can't smoke in the library.
Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you at the library.